So the newest feature MLB The Show 21 has this year is being able to parallel each and every card in MLB The Show. And we were able to get the 96 Ryan Braun to the 1 of 1. Right now it looks like 2 people have done it, but I was the first one in the world to get this Ryan Braun to parallel 5. As you see there, it does say 1 of 2. My card will always say number 1, and then the second number is how many people have gotten him to parallel 5. So when the third person gets it, mine will always say 1 of 3, and then so on. But I will always have the first parallel 5 Ryan Braun for this 96 diamond. Now, most of you guys are probably asking, hey, how did you get this done so quickly? How are you able to be the first one to do this? Well, today we're going to show you what I did to get this done super quickly. This is a little bit of a grind, but it is absolutely worth it. You get a better diamond and you get some bragging rights there because your card will always say 1 out of how many people get it done. I'll probably only do this a couple more times with different players, mainly probably if we see a 99 overall Prince Fielder or like a Yelich, but Ryan Braun was our first one and he is pretty good. He actually fits on the team over in left field for now. But so basically how I did this is the first thing you want to do is create a grind team, right? So I just named it monthly because that's what it was before. So basically this is what the team's gonna look like, and we'll break down the team real quick. So the first thing you're gonna want to do is find 3 players at the top of your lineup that are super fast. I would say probably 90 speed and above, and a player that can bunt/drag bunt fairly well. So in this case, I was using Roberto Alomar, D. Strange Gordon. D. Strange Gordon has 99 bunt and 99 drag bunt. And then Byron Buxton at 86 and 82 bunt. The higher the bunting is, the higher the speed, the better this will be for you. But basically, you're going to want 3 super speedy guys at the top of your lineup. And then your parallel player needs to be in the number 4 spot. And then players 5, 6, 7, and 8, I would suggest throwing players that you have on your main squad in the 5, 6, 7, 8 spot. For me, I use Alfonso Soriano, Chipper Jones, David Ortiz, and Gary Sanchez on my team because they will rack up parallel points as well. But the main focus is the player that you want to get to 1 of 1. For in my case, it is this Ryan Braun. So after you have your team set up, you have your speedy guys at the top there that can bunt, we're gonna head over into a play versus CPU. This is the best way to do it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the fastest way, faster than online, because you can quit out of these after 8 at-bats. So you do have to have 8 total at-bats in a game before quitting out, otherwise it will not work out. So I'm gonna do a couple of scenarios for you guys. The goal is to not have to pitch at all. The goal is to get through 8 batters in the first inning and then quit out. But we're gonna go through a couple of situations here where you would quit out early. All right, so we're gonna head into a play versus CPU. The next thing you want to do is actually play this on All-Star. If All-Star is too hard for you, you're gonna play on Veteran. But playing on All-Star gives you a 1.2 multiplier. So All-Star is fairly simple, especially if you're playing against the Orioles. Orioles have some of the worst pitching in this game, and the ballpark is really, really good. But if that's too hard for you, play on Veteran. That's a 1.1 time multiplier towards parallel XP. But I've been playing on All-Star, so we're gonna head into All-Star here. And you're always gonna play away. Never play at home. Always play away because you're gonna be quitting out in between games anyways. So Orioles. Now this next part, what you want to do is you'll have to probably try this out a couple of times. If you're using a righty hitter and he's better against lefties, you're gonna want to find the lefty pitcher with these Orioles, and you lucked out because today, as long as they don't switch out the roster, the 3rd spot here will always have a lefty. It used to be Keegan Aiken, the lefty, but now it's still a lefty, but it's Bruce Zimmerman is the pitcher for the Orioles. So if you have a guy that you're paralleling 5 that's better against lefties, you always want to go with your 3rd pitcher right here. In this case, for me, it's Garrett Crochet. Now this is, I would also suggest throwing in a pitcher in there that you're also going to be using on your main squad because they will also rack up parallel points. So for me, I'm using Garrett Crochet because I'm trying to get him to parallel 5 as well. I believe that is their only lefty pitcher on the squad, but if you're using a lefty, If you have a lefty batter out there that you want to parallel 5, find a righty pitcher and consistently pick those pitchers every single time for. But in this example, we have the righty Ryan Braun, so we go with Garrett Crochet every single time because we'll be facing that lefty Bruce Zimmerman. So we got my lineup done. We're gonna advance forward here, go through a couple of situations. Now, if you get 3 outs right away, you can back out. That's what I did. I backed out. But most of the time, doing it this way, doing this method, you'll always at least have 1 runner on base. So what I'm gonna do with Roberto Alomar against a lefty is actually drag bunt to second base here. So if you didn't know how to, if you're on zone like me, we're gonna get an out there, but that's okay. If you're on zone like me, if you didn't know how to sway your which way you want to bunt, it's actually the right analog stick. So with D. Strange Gordon, the lefty, I'm gonna bunt to the left. So I'm gonna hit left, and I'm gonna try to drag bunt that way. So you only have to hit left, and when you feel the vibration, that means it's gonna be going left there. So we're gonna try to get on base with D. Gordon here, and we do. D. Gordon's very good like that. That's typically what happens with D. Gordon when you do this. And now with Byron Buxton, I'm also gonna try to go to the left side here, and get that bunt down. So I should have 2 runners on now. The reason why I have Braun in the 4th spot is now we can get RBIs. The main goal here is to get as many home runs as possible because that will give you the most. But the RBIs are where it's going to give you a little extra boost. So we're not going to hit a home run there. But this is where our first situation comes into play. You still do get a base 10 for at-bats right here. Now, what I usually do is see if I can get to the 8th batter first. If I do get an out with Braun, I try to get to the 8th batter in the first inning. If I do, great, I'll back out. I get that 10 base just having the plate appearance. But if I have to pitch before I get to the 8th, I'll back out. I'll back out at that point. But you can do it however you want. Most of the time, you're going to have a lot of instances where you do have to pitch at least 1 inning before you can get to the 8th batter. But that's okay too. For me, I try to look for more than a plate appearance when I'm going up with my guys there. So, but looks like we're gonna get, that's gonna go down. Perfect. So 5th batter, we got 6, 7, and 8. And we're gonna try to get hits that way with those guys too. So that way we don't have to pitch at all. So we're gonna end up having to pitch here. I do have 2 more batters, but I kind of don't want to pitch at all. So it's up to you if you want to pitch through this and get the 2 more batters there done for the 8 plate appearances and get only about maybe 11 or 12 parallel XP, or you can quit out like what I was doing. I'd quit out if I don't get anything with Ryan Braun because, like I said, my main goal is to get home runs. If you get a home run with at least 2 runners on an All-Star, I believe it's 60 parallel points at a time. So I'm gonna go back in there, see if we can find a different situation here. So there are other situations where, say, you do get a hit, right? You do get a hit. It's just a single. You get an RBI with someone. I would suggest always stealing. If your parallel person has enough speed, like this Ryan Braun steals bases amazingly, believe it or not. Try to steal as many bases as possible too. Just rack up those attributes, those stats with those cards. 2 strike counts, I typically will go ahead and swing away with circle. Most of these guys like Roberto Alomar, D. Strange Gordon, they're very, very good at little bloop hits for base hits. Sometimes they'll fly out like this, but if you're on 2 strikes, I say swing away. But what you don't want to do is send them home before your guy at the 4th spot comes up. So say D. Strange Gordon is on 3rd base right now, and we get a hit with someone else. We don't want to send him home because we want to save that RBI for your parallel player in the number 4 spot. All right, he's probably going to get an out right there. Like I said, if you get all 3 outs in the first, quit out. Quit out and restart, because the main goal here is to get those RBIs as well, because everything else is going to be counted anyways. It's the RBIs that's going to help you finish this up very, very quickly for your parallels. So yeah, so we're going to get 3 outs right there. It happens sometimes. Don't get frustrated. Stick with it. So we're going to quit out and see if we can actually get like a home run, so I can show you how much parallel XP that you will be getting. Nice. This is working out real well right here. We get 2 men on, no outs. Perfect. Let's see if Byron Buxton can also bunt on for a base hit here. We're gonna base hit or bunt to the left side. You'll find a side. So depending on which players you use at the top 3 of your lineup here, they may bunt better to the right, may bunt better to the left. But I've been bunting Roberto Alomar towards second base, and I've been bunting D. Gordon towards the third baseman there. But 2 strikes here, by the way. Remember I said swing away on 2 strikes on some of these guys? Do not swing away when you have 2 men on. Do not swing away when you have 2 men on. In this situation, I'm going to try to steal them to second and third base. So that way it's easier for RBIs for Ryan Braun here. So that's what I did in that situation. We're going to try to at least get a base hit. 1 RBI here. Okay, we're going to get an RBI. We're not going to quit out because we did now get... Oh, and it gets pulled off too. So we have a situation where we can steal. But if I would have gotten out right there, I would have played it out for sure. I would have pitched the 1 inning. I'm going to try to steal here. Oh. Oh! Alright, we messed that up. That's okay. That's okay right there. We got him to second. We can try to get him to third now, which we will do. But I would say only quit out if you don't get anything more than a plate appearance. So in this case, we were able to get an RBI plus a plate appearance, so that's why I am going to be pitching this 1 inning. And the inning should go pretty quickly. Just make sure you get these 3 guys out as fast as possible. And then at the top of the second, that's where you're going to try to get to the 8th batter. Finish up that at bat, and then you quit out. And I'll show you how much you will be getting with 1 plate appearance and 1 RBI. I believe each RBI is 5 times the multiplier, which would give it, I think, 6. You'd get a total of 6. So this gameplay, this round, however you want to call it, will net me about 16 total parallel XP. All right, so that's the 3rd out there. So my main goal here at the top of the second is to get to that 8th batter, finish up that at bat, and then quit out. You should never go past that unless you have like no outs after the 8th guy. I would say just quit out. Otherwise, if you get to the 1st batter with no outs in the 2nd inning, then might as well go ahead and rinse and repeat right there. You don't even have to quit out. And this is why I said fill up the back end, the 5, 6, 7, and 8 hole hitters. Fill it up with players that you use in your main squad because they will be racking up plate appearances and also attributes and stats that go towards their own parallel XP. So it's definitely beneficial to throw those players in there that you actually use. So we're gonna fly out here, but that's good. We're gonna get the 7th and 8th hole hitter in there as long as we don't get a double play. You should never have to pitch twice in 1 game. Never. Perfect. So 2 outs. There was no double play. I am now at my 8th hitter, which is Gary Sanchez. It doesn't matter the outcome here anymore because after this at bat, I can quit out. And it's gonna count all the parallel XP that I got for each and every player in this round today. So there we go. We're done with our 8th batter. Gary Sanchez does ground out right there. What we're going to do is go ahead and quit out, confirm and quit, and then check our work and see how many parallel XP that we get. But I think it was 16. 1 RBI and 1 total plate appearance is going to give us... Oh, it's not going to... It might not... Yeah, it's not going to show because we are done with Ryan Braun there. But as you can see here, we got plus 12 for 1 plate appearance. We got, let's see here, a plate appearance in a single with Alfonso Soriano gives us 18. So that's probably where it's at. 18 with Ryan Braun. So really, it's a super simple process. It is a little bit tedious, but the main rules to really follow is to create a team that you're gonna grind with. The first 3 batters need to be someone that can bunt with a lot of speed, so that way you have players on base for when your parallel player is up for RBIs and extra base hits and whatnot. And then the back end of your players are gonna be players that you typically use on your team. And then you're gonna want to throw in a pitcher in the 3rd spot there for righties, and then find, if you have a lefty, find a righty pitcher. But I would say play versus CPU away on All-Star against the Orioles every single time because their pitchers are not hard to hit at all, and the ballpark is a very, very good ballpark. Now, there's many ways to do this, right? There's many ways to this. You can grind online, but this is the fastest way I've found to, you know, parallel players quickly. Like I said, it is tedious, but if all you're focusing on is trying to get that 1-of-1 parallel 5, this is the best way to do it, ladies and gentlemen. So if you have any questions, let me know down below. I think I explained that as best as I could, but it's super easy. You just always have to remember that you have to have at least 8 plate appearances or 8 at-bats in a single game before quitting out. But there's some instances out there where like I said, if you get out, if your first 3 batters get out, then quit out and restart, but want to try to not have to pitch at all. You try to get your 8 at-bats in the first inning and then quit out. That's it. You try to do that. That's your main goal, because that will be the fastest way. So I will be getting a gameplay for the 1-of-1 Ryan Braun. Well, now it's 1-of-2, but I'll always have that number 1. We will be getting a gameplay for that. I can't wait. He does look good. His first debut wasn't so good, but maybe now that he's a parallel 5, he's going to be a lot better. But there you go. There you have it. Get out there. Go get yourself a 1-of-1 parallel 5. It's exciting. It's a cool new feature that MLB The Show dropped this year, and you have to get yours, right? You got to get yours. So thank you so much for watching today. I hope this helps. If it did, leave a like and subscribe with post notifications on so you never miss a video. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.